So this spring, our big project has been to get this backyard campsite up off the ground. And as this winds down, there's been another project we're working on in the background, and that's our backyard mountain bike trail. So today we're going to show you the steps that we took to tune these trails up to get them riding great for another year, and also the big plans we have in store later this summer. So stay tuned. So the first thing we did to get these trails tuned up and running great was rake all the debris, all the leaves from the fall, get them nice and clean. And then this area of our yard is always really muddy in the spring. So it's a good time to see where the water might pool and anything we can do to fix and make it drain better. And now that I got my new bike and I actually have a full-size mountain bike, this berm was a little bit too tight, so we scraped it down, widened it out a little bit so the radius of the curve is a little bit bigger, a little bit easier for me to get around. Then one of the last things we did last fall was add this bridge over this little dip in the trail. We found some rocks and added those to the downside so that it is rollable. You don't have to drop off of it. That way it's more accessible for the little kids to ride along with us. And then lastly, the landing of our jump at the end was getting a little bit crusty, so we dug up some nice dirt, put a new layer of dirt on it, got it nice and smooth. That brings us to the last thing we had to tune up. Now this area here is a little bit tricky because it's got these big roots running through it. I had this idea last year to put a little bit of a rock garden slash berm to kind of bank out that way and go around. And we ran out of time. It was near the end of the project, and we just kind of turned it into a little flat rock garden, but it was never really exactly how I wanted it. So this spring, I dug up some of the rocks, found some bigger rocks, so we could actually build a little bit of a berm into it. We've still got the rock garden in the middle, so now we have two different ways you could go about it. You could just go right through the rocks to learn how to roll over uneven rock technical ground, or you can go up over this little berm. It kind of looks like just dirt now, but as it rains more and this dirt gets packed into the cracks, it'll expose more of the rocks and it should look really cool, more like that. But while we were doing that, I found this rock that was shaped just like a little jump. So I thought, how about we add a third line so that if you're coming more to the right, you can hit this little launch and get up over that big root and then kind of land almost like a tiny miniature step up. Now the tricky part about this is that it's very close. It's only like 12 feet from the bridge. So especially if you're coming faster, you drop off the bridge, you've only got a split second to react. So now in theory, you come off the bridge, you've got three line choices: the berm, the rock garden, or the little tiny step up jump. But the big question is, do they work? Let's do some riding and find out. Oh. Oh no, bike in the trail. Wow. And then after you loop down through the yard, we actually used to have a trail here that we've reclaimed to be part of an up trail. We've been going up the shoulder of the road. Now there's a couple reasons that we don't want to do that anymore. And the big reasons, name is Miles. Miles, do not touch the road. Bad. Go back this way. He thinks he's one of the big kids and he tries to ride his big wheel up the side of the road with us, and he's just not allowed to do that because he's too small. So what we end up doing is we ride up the bike trail and then turn around and come back down. And that works okay, but then he's trying to follow us up the bike trail and he inevitably gets stuck somewhere, and then we have to wait for him to get out or go help him, wait for him to get to the top, and then we got to let him go first so he's not up there alone, and it's just a whole thing. So my plans for the rest of this year for our trail expansion is to continue this trail here across the driveway. And we've already done a little bit of testing here. Needs to get widened out, but we're going to have an up trail that goes through these woods up this way and then connects right to the top of our downhill trail, so that we'll be able to do a nice loop, stay off the road. We won't have to worry about two-way traffic. I think in theory it should solve a lot of our problems, plus expand our trails. Hope you come along for the journey. If you want to see more about how we built the trails back there, click on this video right here. And until next time, get out there and have a fun-sized adventure
Of your own.
my own or your own? Miles' own.